Hello everyone and welcome back to Transforming Marriages with Uju and Wuzulike. Today's video is a special one. It's a special one because I want to speak directly to the Nigerian politicians. And why am I doing this? I'm doing this because a lot of homes today are destroyed economically and maritally because of bad governance in Nigeria. And why am I doing this? I'm doing this essentially because I am a patriotic citizen. I care for Nigeria. In our lifetime, I want to see a Nigeria that will be respected all over the world. I want to see a Nigeria where our citizens will be able to take care of themselves. I want to see a Nigeria where everybody in Nigeria will be proud to say that they are Nigerians. I want to see a Nigeria where everyone traveling outside the country will feel proud and will not be searched more than that person is supposed to be searched, will not be ridiculed simply because that person is from Nigeria. I want to see a Nigeria that works. So this video is for every politician in Nigeria, the past, the present, and the aspiring. I want to say this to you, that one day you will stand before God, who cannot be bribed, who cannot be lobbied, who cannot be deceived, to give account to him how you have contributed in the healing, in the restoration, in the building up of this country, or how you have destroyed this country. I want you to know that one day you will give account to God. I want to start with Mr. President. Mr. President, one day you will stand before God to give account to him. This giving account is not something your aides will do for you. It's not something you appoint someone to speak on your behalf. You would be able to stand before God to give account to God how you have ruled or misruled this country. God will ask you, my son, you are the president of the country. Did you bring everybody together? God will ask you, did you enrich everyone in Nigeria, or did you enrich some people? God will ask you, in giving of your appointments, did you ensure that federal character was entrenched, or did you give appointments because people supported you? Are you giving political patronage appointment? Are you giving appointment to only those that have worked with you? Are you giving appointment to only those you feel you trust or you can work with? At the mercies of millions and millions of other Nigerians. God will ask you, how did you put things to work? God will ask you, what kind of policies did you bring out to Nigerians? God will ask you, those policies, did you make sure you pay heed to the unintended consequences? God will ask you, how did you rule this country? God will ask you, did you corruptly enrich yourself? Did you enrich your cronies? Did you enrich people that you think that supported you in the time past? God will ask you, did you rule the country as a father, or were you all about your political party? God will ask you, were you aware that the poor Nigerians were starving? Were you aware that people were really facing economic challenges? Or did you rely on what your aides were telling you? Did you rely on what your sycophants aides were telling you? Of course, they wouldn't be able to tell you the truth. God will ask you that. So one day you will stand before him to give account to him. And to the vice president also, God will ask you, what role did you play to make sure that the country is going on well? What role did you play to make sure that the country is functioning the way it should function? God will ask you, what did you do to support the president? God will ask you, did you tell the president the truth? God will ask you, did you play a role in suppressing the opposition, the dissenting voice, those that will highlight to you or your party what you are doing wrong? God will ask you, did you suppress them? Did you suppress people when they want to protest, which they have the fundamental right to do? God will ask you, what role did you play to bring this country together? God will ask you, did you speak out as a vice president? That is what God will ask you. And I want to remind you that one day you will give that account to God. And to the Senate President of Nigeria, God will also ask you, as a Senate President, you were there to make sure that the laws that will be passed are laws that will affect the masses positively. God will ask you, what kinds of laws did you support? What kinds of laws did you approve? God will ask you, when things come from the presidency, do you interrogate it so well? Do you take your time to question it, or do you just approve it to please the president? God will ask you, how did you manage the affairs of the Senate? God will ask you, how did you promulgate laws that will impact the poor? God will ask you, were you there to enrich yourself? The things you did it impact the poor masses? And God will ask you also, when the government want to borrow money and they bring this to you to review and approve, God will ask you, did you thoroughly review these borrowings so that the country will not be enmeshed in further debt that even generations yet unborn will not be able to repair? And to our judges and to the justice system, God will ask you, as a judge or as a justice, how did you entrench justice in Nigeria? Were you bought? Did you support the poor? Can someone sleep with his or her two eyes closed, knowing that justice will come for him? Or were you bought? Were you influenced just to support someone, just to curry favor from someone? God will ask you, what kind of justice did you enforce in Nigeria? What kind of justice did you enthrone in Nigeria? And to the INEC chairman, God will ask you, as the INEC chairman, who is supposed to make sure that the right person voted by Nigerians will be able to rule the country. God will ask you, that is the person ruling Nigeria the right person to rule Nigeria? Or were you influenced? And if you were influenced, God will also ask you to give account of your stewardship as an INEC chairman. And because your decision will plunge people into hardship, your decision will cause problems in Nigeria. For example, if you support for the wrong person to be enthroned in government, that means that you've worked against the expectation of people. You've worked against the wish of people, and this is totally wrong. So I want to remind you that one day you will give account to God. And as a governor, God will also ask you to give account of your stewardship in the state. God will ask you, how did you manage your state resources? Did you enrich others? Did you enrich yourself to the detriment of the poor citizen of your country? One day, you will stand to give account to God. And to every politician out there, and to every godfather out there that are selfish, that are doing things to help themselves in government, that are doing things all because of selfish reasons, that are bringing out policies that will enrich their cronies and their friends to the detriment of their citizenry. God will ask you one day to give account of what you've done. And to the politicians out there that want to use other people's children to cause problems, to cause mayhem during election, God will ask you, how many blood did you shed? God will ask you, those thugs that you hired, why did you hire them? Why didn't you hire your kids? And God will ask you, especially for any life that was lost, God will ask you to give account of those lives that were lost. I want to remind you that you can be in power forever. You can be in government forever. You can be a president forever. You can be a vice president forever. You can be a senate president forever. And you can be a governor forever. You can be into politics forever in Nigeria. One day you will leave the scene, and you will one day stand before God to give account of what you've done. I want to say this to you. If you want to be in government, or if you want to rule in any capacity, if you know you are not coming there to serve the masses, if you know you're not coming there to entrench justice, if you know you're not coming there to bring about public value to the people, if you know essentially you're not coming there to serve, please don't come out to participate in politics. If you know you are coming out to enrich yourself or to enrich your friends, relatives, and cronies, please don't do that. Because when you come out to do that and enrich all these people, of course the masses will be destabilized, the masses will be thrown into poverty and multidimensional poverty. What will you get if you own the whole world and you lose your soul? I want to remind you today that nothing lasts forever. Remember, you will give account to God, and that God cannot be bribed, that God cannot be lobbied, and that God cannot be deceived. What account do you want to give to God? But it is not late for you. You can still repent from all your sins. You can say to God, I am really sorry. I'm totally sorry. You can acknowledge your bad behaviors. You can acknowledge your shortcomings. You can acknowledge your corruptions before God. You can acknowledge your bad dealings before God, and make sure you turn into a new leaf. Make sure that as the president of the country, you are doing things that will help the country to come together. Make sure that your policies are the ones that will help the countries to do well. Make sure that you are not taking advice from people that will not tell you the truth. Make sure you make out time to fill the purse of the poor people around you. And as the Senate president, make sure that the laws you're encouraging, the laws you want to be seen to be promulgated, the laws you want to approve, are the laws that will affect the masses, not the laws that will affect you or your cronies. And don't do things to give a wrong impression that you are a Senate president that cannot do things on his own. Don't give that impression. And this is the impression that a lot of Nigerians have, that you are a president that cannot, a Senate president that cannot interrogate things. You need to be thorough to do these things, because on the last day, you won't give account to the president. The president will give his own account, and you will give account to God. I am not accusing you, but I'm saying this to you. Live your life knowing that one day you will give account to God of your stewardship. What kind of account do you want to give to God? And to the court system, to our judges, I want to also remind you that whenever you give out injustice or you met out injustice to people, you are literally saying to them that they can go and commit suicide. And do you know how many people that have committed suicide because of injustice that was meted out to them? Always know that one day you will give account to God. So I want all politicians in Nigeria to know that one day we will give account to God. Let this be our driving force to help us to get things right in Nigeria. I want this country to work. I love Nigeria. I want this country to work. If I don't love Nigeria, I will not be doing this. I remember in 2010, I was in America and someone said to me, why going back to Nigeria? But this person insisted that, Mr. Onwuzulike, why are you going to Nigeria? Why don't you stay in America? And I remember what I said to that person. I said to that person, if I stay back in America and everyone stay back in America, who will be in Nigeria to rebuild Nigeria? I had to come back. And I know, in fact, when I speak with that person today, that person will jokingly say to me, do you know, if you had listened to me, that today you would have become an American citizen. I'm saying this to tell you how much I love Nigeria. I'm saying this to tell you that I cherish Nigeria and I want Nigeria to work. And this is why I am doing this video. Let's get the country to work. When the country is working well, families won't be having the issues they are having today. In the last 2 or 3 months, I have seen a lot of problems in marriages. I have seen a lot of divorce. And these divorces are as a result of economic hardship. Imagine if we did not have those economic hardships. As a politician, I want you to start doing the right thing. When you do the right thing, the country will work. When you do the right thing, when we allow the rule of law to take course in Nigeria, things will work in Nigeria. I pray for Nigeria. I pray that by the grace of God, our politicians will turn into a new leaf. Our politicians will begin to have the fear of God. Our politicians will begin to know that they will not be here forever. Our politicians will begin to know that they don't even have control over tomorrow, that they don't even know if they will be alive tomorrow to reap all those things they have put together for themselves. And I want you to know that when you stock up things for even the generations unborn, I want you to know that even when you are gone, you don't know what will become of them. Don't stock up things for them. Encourage them to work hard the same way you have done. Let's work together to build a Nigeria that works. Thank you for watching. I want you to share this with other people, especially to the politicians in Nigeria, so that they would know that they have a responsibility entrusted on them to make sure that the country will work. Thank you, and God bless you, and may God bless Nigeria.